to the Black Critique. I'm here again with another topic here, and the topic we're going to be talking about today is FBA, ADOS, lies that they tell during their discourse, right? So you hear this all the time, and it really bothers me because it's like they're taking credit for something that they never done. It's like they're taking credit on the coattails of something else. They really didn't do it, but because they wrote those coattails, right? They're saying, well, no, we're the one that pushed for it. You know, we're that fighting force. So basically, say, ADOS and FBA, they fought for black immigrants to come to America, right? But they saying all immigrants, right? Sometimes they say black immigrants, depending on what they're talking about. Sometimes they'll just generalize and say all immigrants, right? And I'm like, really? And I studying the civil rights movement in the civil rights era and everything that was going on from Reconstruction to the Civil Rights Act of 1965, along with other acts that was pushed and revamped, like the Immigration Act and things like that. I'm like, I don't see or know any black person, black American, because for some reason they think during 1965, that's when all of a sudden you had black Africans and black Caribbeans all of a sudden popped up, right? Because, the white man was listening to them. They weren't listening to nobody else or stuff like that. The white man was just listening to them. They had the white man at their beck and call. The white man always gave them their ear, right? That's the narrative they're trying to paint while the white man kicking their ass at the same time. But there's this narrative or this fiction where there were no black immigrants in America, not until after 1965. Well, we know that to be a lie, but that's what they're painting here. So me, I'm a type of person, I like to expose people's lies by accepting it as the truth, right? So what I'm going to do here right now, I'm going to see and look and find the people that were involved, right? Speaking for immigration to be, because remember, around this time, immigration was it was happening, yes, but it was happening. I don't want to pull up too much stats and stuff like that. You guys should check it out for yourself. But immigration was always a thing, but they always had more Europeans coming into the country and a very small percentage of others coming into the country. So that's why you had this huge influx of white people who keep coming in all the time. So, and then they'll have like, okay, let's let a small group of people from the Caribbean come in, a small group from Africa come in, a little small group from Asia come in. That's how they were doing it. So when you look at the numbers, they were very uneven, right? But going along with the whole FBA narrative, ooh, look what we got here, right? This is the Immigration Act of 1965 and everybody that was involved. All right, so let's see here. Here we have Lyndon B. Johnson signing it. This is in New York, right? They're signing it, right? Going through the crowd here, and I don't see no black folk. Where they be at? That's the vice president right there. This piece of shit right here. All right? See no black people, man. See the first lady there, Lyndon B. Johnson's wife. This dude looks kind of Asian, but I could be wrong. Still no black people. And you got the Kennedys right there. You got Robert Kennedy. See, Kennedy brothers right there. I don't see no black people, man. Now, what FBA tells us is that they were an intricate part of fighting for black people to come here. All right? And then I'm gonna do them justice. They say they fought for black people to get here because it don't make no sense for some black people to fight for some Asians and Hispanics and Latinos and Mexicans to come over here and Indians to come here. That makes no sense, right? So what they're saying, they fought for black immigration along with all the other things that they were fighting for, right? And doing that, it was like, okay, we're not going to just let black people in. We're going to let all other minorities in as well, right? That's the narrative that they're saying, that they're painting. But again, I don't see it, and it's not like, again, according to FBA, they were an intricate part. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Bill. You know, he was adhering. He saw Martin Luther King. He was adhering to what black people were saying. So I don't see. It's not like they hate black people because they finally gave in to everything, right? But I don't see the white people here, right? But yeah, be mad all you want. Like, show receipts. Where are the receipts of show one black person, one organization, or a group of black people that specifically said, we want more black immigrants in America because the immigration system that is currently in the United States is unfair. We want our brothers from Africa to come over here. We want our brothers just south of us in the Caribbean, in the Black Caribbean. We want them to come over here. You guys, we can't eat next to you, white people. We can't shit next to you and all these other things because there's segregated bathrooms, there's segregated restaurants and stuff like that. We're tired of being segregated on a global scale, right? I want our brothers from the Caribbean to come up here. Name one person, one African American that solely fought on that. Where's the organization that solely fought on that? Look, this could be a teachable moment. Again, don't be mad. Why are you mad, Tariq? Why are you mad? Show me one person or an organization of a black man, black people saying we want immigration of black people. You could teach me something, or I could teach you something, because one of us is wrong, right? One of us has to be wrong, right? So same thing goes for Yvette Carnell and Tone. Show me a black organization where black people solely fought for the immigration of black people, wanting black people to come to America from Africa and from the Caribbean. Because I don't see any. I can't find any, right? Maybe you guys are smarter than me and someone could show me that, hey, look, you have these people over here that was a part of civil rights. They were advocating for, hey, look, during the bus boycotts and all of the protests and all these other things, they made a strong stance like, hey, we need to get some Africans in here. Hey, we need some more Caribbean people here. Like, I miss that speech. And every time they say that, I always be on some like, okay, that could be true. I won't put it past black Americans to fight for that, right? I won't put it past them. But if it's coming from ADOS and FBA, especially FBA, you gotta check it out, see for yourself, because it's probably a lie, right? And their followers are fucking stupid. They don't know anything about history, because a lot of things that they say that come out their mouth contradicts history itself. But again, I'm just asking, who are these people, these persons, this organization that did it? Because Martin Luther King, then I don't really hear Martin Luther King really spoke about black immigration, black immigrants coming. I didn't hear Medgar Evers talk about that. I didn't hear Fannie Lou Hamer talk about that. I really didn't hear, and the list kind of goes on. I didn't hear all these people talk about that so much, right? But you guys are the ones that fought for black immigrants to come to this country, which is, again, so far is a straight up lie, right? So what I'm going to do is go into history, actual factual history, and find out who was a part of the Immigration Act. So let me say this. Remedial history here. We all should know this, right? We all know that Martin Luther King fought for equal rights. He wanted to fight for equal rights for black people in America, right? And this is where FBA and ADOS, they're disrespecting all their heroes, our heroes that was here. Martin Luther King didn't say, well, just the black people that were in slavery, just the black people who were in slavery. That's who I'm fighting for. And all the black people, the hell with you. That's what's not said, because then Harry Belafonte that marched with Martin Luther King would felt like, what? Like, really? All these Caribbean people that was here, and a few Africans that were here, right? Like I said, we're the minority of a minority, right? But we were here and we spoke up and we rode along with our brothers in America. But I'm going to get into the history right now because, as you see, there ain't nothing but white peoples here. Ain't no black peoples. Where the black people at? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's probably Tariq's mother-in-law right there. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? There's nobody here. Maybe you saw his mother-in-law's mother was like, oh, so that counts. She was there. I don't know. Tariq loved white people, man. Like, what the hell? Anyway, so we're gonna get into the history right now, and we're gonna try to find out who was really a part of the Immigration Act of 1965. Do a crash course in history right now as far as what the civil rights was about and who fought in the civil rights, right? So do a simple Google search right here, right? So history.com, I remember getting kicked off on their conversation board back in the day. So take what they're saying with a grain of salt. But if you believe it or not, they could be right. So it said the civil rights movement was a struggle for social justice, not international, social justice that took place mainly during the 1950s and 60s for black Americans to gain equal rights under the law of the United States. They, along with many white Americans, mobilized and began an unprecedented fight for equality that spanned 2 decades. That sounds mostly right to me, right? That sounds mostly right to me. I see no shade that they throwing right there. I'm pretty sure someone would nitpick and find something wrong with that, which is, I don't think it's going to be as significant, right? Okay, we got LOC Gov, right? It's a government site, a long struggle for freedom, civil rights era, 1950, 1963. So it's kind of piggybacking on what the history.com says as far as how long the struggle was, right? So, see, there's boycotting lunch tables, things like that, all right? Check that out there. Of course, Martin Luther King. So a lot about boycotts in the summer of 1955. A surge of anti-black violence included kidnapping and brutal murder of 14-year-old Emmett Till. We all know about our brother Emmett Till, Montgomery, Alabama. You don't see anything here about immigration right here, right? Because basically, you don't. They're fighting for literally for their lives here, right? Civil rights movement, 1919 to 1960. All right, so we have examples here. See, it's social, like it says, social injustices. Not being able to eat at lunch counters, things like that nature. You got here, going to school. So it's Brown versus the Board of Education. Bombing buses. All right. A lot of things going on here. NAACP anti-lynching campaign. All right. So you see a lot of things here are social issues that was being ignored by Henry A. Wallace. Right. A whole lot of things that was being ignored as far as like black people's civil liberties, aka civil rights, just living their everyday life with dignity. So far, I don't see anything here about no immigration, about someone fighting for immigration, right? I don't see it. Maybe you guys could drop me something in the comment section or something, because I don't see anyone, any civil rights leader. Like I said, no shade to those civil rights activists and leaders, right? Because it makes no sense to advocate for other people when your own house is on fire. Remember that? When your own home is on fire, you don't even have civil liberties where you are. Why are you having other people come to a place where it's bad for you, that look like you? They look like you invite people that look like you to a place over here just so they get abused. I don't think our brothers and sisters in the civil rights would have did that. They're trying to secure a place for themselves, right? So people that look like them in the United States could have basic civil liberties and respect, right? For all the things that they endured, for all the things they have fought for. They are citizens of the United States, right? And that's what Martin Luther King was doing. So before I get off track here, so basically I don't see anything about that, about immigration here, as far as like what they're doing, right? I don't see anything. So which one should I pick? Hidden history of the Civil Rights Act. Ooh, okay, let's see what this is about. Hidden history, hidden colors. It's like, anyway, the history of the Civil Rights Act of 1960. Right? Participants carrying American flags, marching in the Civil Rights March from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. Okay, we know what that's about. Had nothing to do with immigration. It has to do right here. Jim Crow era laws, Civil Rights Act of 1960 help prove racially discriminatory voter registration practices. Yeah, okay, that's gerrymandering and all those other things. That's something the Republicans do because they have to cheat in order to win. That's why there's a thing called Electoral College and all that. Yada, yada, yada. Right, Commission on Civil Rights and the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. I don't see anything about immigration. Hey, let me teach you all something real quick, if you didn't know. So let's say you're looking for something in an article, right? And you try to do a little bit of studying here, right? And you want to know, in this case, immigration, right? I haven't done this to this article yet. All you do, can I do it? I don't want to mess up my video. You know what? Basically, you can just hit the find search. And when you hit the find search, right, you can search up words and phrases, and it'll automatically pinpoint the words and phrases that you want to use, right? So that's a tool that I use also when studying documents and things like that, when I'm looking for something specific in a document that's not a book. So I won't have to use an index or anything like that, because obviously there's going to be no index in the article. Anyway, so basically here, you don't see anything here about immigration, right? So I'm about to call it a wraps on that, right? Because there's nothing about immigration, because these people it's about social justice, right? For decades, for the past 20 decades or so, right? That they're just doing the whole Jim Crow era in the 50s and the 60s, right? It has nothing to do with immigration, Civil Rights Act. So I'm going to go to pbs.org. This is the last one I'm going to do. And it's milestones of the Civil Rights Movement, right? Milestones. So right here, see what it says here. Milestones of the Civil Rights Movement. Again, You see, what is that? This crap came up. All right. See right here is basically, segregation, Jim Crow laws. All right. Unconstitutional, 1956. All right. 1960. Presidential election. All right. You see here, it says nothing about immigration. It talks about Coretta Scott King, so on and so forth. Martin Luther King. See, nothing here about immigration. The desegregation of interstate travel. Okay, this might lead to it, even though it's interstate travel, right? In the months following the inauguration, civil rights activists were disappointed that the president did not introduce any new legislation on issue. However, the Supreme Court had issued a ruling in December 1960 that interstate buses and bus terminals were required to integrate. Now, this is what makes no sense. That, as far as like their claim, you want to get more black people. You guys fought for more black people to come to America, but at bus terminals was still segregated, and you can only go to certain places. Everyone knows about sundown towns. Like, for those who don't know what sundown towns basically is, that yes, on paper, black people supposed to have certain freedoms. Now, Jim Crow was not a federal law; it was a state law. So Southern laws had those adopted the Jim Crow era law, right? But on paper, black people, the federal law supersedes local law. But on paper, black people are supposed to have these freedoms. But when that sun goes down, it's like 1850 all over again, right? You have even less rights, and all they're going to do is kill you and terrorize you for fun. That's what white people did back then, right? So, again, as I keep reading through things like this, I'm like that makes no sense. You fighting for people to come here, right? Why? Like misery loves company? Like, damn, if I'm getting seeked on by dogs and hosed down and my houses and churches being burnt down, I want some other black people to share my misery. Like, that makes no sense. Anyway, right here, another one. The Supreme Court orders Ole Miss to interrogate. Okay, nothing about immigration. The March on Washington, famous one, right? Discrimination, again, nothing about immigration. Absolutely nothing about immigration, right? So we're coming close to when everything was being revamped under the Civil Rights Act, right? We're coming very close, right? So we all know so real quick, I'm just going to reiterate what we all should know already. So Martin Luther King just wanted civil rights for all black people, as we know, but he died, right? He didn't die. He was murdered. He was killed, right? He was murdered. He was killed. What he wanted was reparations, economic, social reparations for his people. That's where that generation, like John Lewis and all these other people of that generation, dropped the ball. Instead of giving civil rights to everybody, this is whoa. No, hold on. No. That's not what Martin Luther King was killed for. Martin Luther King wanted land grants, land subsidies, black people to be tax exempt, all the benefits and goodies that white people get. We deserve it, even because we're American citizens, right? Even the promise of Abraham Lincoln of 40 acres and a mule, right? We were supposed to get that. We never got that. The United States government promised us that, but the Confederacy, right, once, the administration changed hands, They did not hold that promise. That's what was being fought for, not immigration. Now we're on to the signing of the Immigration Act of 1965, right? Like I said in the beginning, all I saw was white people, but ADOS and FBA swears that they were an intricate part of the Immigration Act, that they fought for it. So let's say, hey, look, I got all the wrong information. I really didn't get the right people, person, or organization of Black Americans fighting for Black immigrants to come here. So let's see who was at the signing, who was responsible for it, right? Let's go according to what they're saying. So Johnson, President Lyndon B. Johnson, signed into law the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, commonly known as the Hart-Celler Act, after its two sponsors, Senator Philip A. Hart of Michigan and Representative Emanuel Celler of New York. The law overhauled America's immigration system during a period of deep global instability. You can see right here, it says history.house.gov. It almost like that says immigration, right? So it's two things screamed out to me right now reading this, right? First thing, right, is saying the people who galvanized this act, who pushed this act, are two people, right? And those men are two white men. They're two white men, along with Lyndon B. Johnson, right? So you can see the highlighted area is basically what I read there. So, yeah, so like I said, the thing that's pointed out to me was those two people, right, that pushed it. I showed you the picture of all the people that was there at the signing, right? And when you read it, the second thing that stands out to me, it says, the law overhauled America's immigration system during a period of deep global instability. So what was happening around that time? So you had the Vietnam War going on around that time, right? You had the Vietnam going on at that time. You had apartheid going on in Africa. You got America in a war in Vietnam. The tensions was getting high in Vietnam, right? And you're treating your people like this, right? At the same time, drafting white people and Black people to go fight a war. Not a good look. So America needs a W right now. So that's what I'm saying. This is political. So at the end of the day, Martin Luther King knew what he was doing. He was just pretty much exposing American hypocrisy. Same thing with Malcolm X. They were pretty much exposing American hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they were doing, to the point where they just end up looking bad. America did it to themselves as far as like the situation that they're in. But these are the people that were a part of the whole Immigration Act. Like I said, so right here it says, people also ask who was involved in the Immigration Act of 1965. We just did that, but let's see what it's saying. So Wikipedia article, pretty much saying the same thing that we just read. Which president did that? Who voted for the Immigration Act? Yada, 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 yada. Right? I think we did a history.com one already. President Lyndon B. Johnson. See, so there's no Black people involved in Blacks getting immigrated to America. Not at all. There's nothing here. There's nothing here whatsoever. Not a Black face or a Black name at all. Right? Even when we did the hidden history of the civil rights movement, there's no mentioning of immigration whatsoever. Right? So we have here the Immigration Act, the legacy of the Immigration Act of 1965. Right? Lyndon B. Johnson again. Right? They give all the credit to Lyndon B. Johnson. Right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to let's see here. I am going to go, I don't care what you say, I'm going to use the Wikipedia article because I'm just asking for certain facts that can't be twisted, right? So I'm looking for like the names of the people who signed for it, who was a part of it, right? So right here it says nicknames, the Hart-Celler Act, the two white men that did it, right? They were fighting for it. So, I mean, you know what? If you don't believe me, Emmanuel Seller, Democrat of New York. Let's see what he's about. Oh, white guy. So I should be thanking these dudes, right? Not FBA or ADO. I should be thanking these dudes, right? Okay. Where's Mr. Hart? That's Lyndon B. Johnson. Trying to find, hold on, let me go back to the top. All right, Lyndon B. Johnson, da-da-da. Okay, you see right here it says remove de facto discrimination against Southern and Eastern Europeans, Asians, as well as other non-Western European ethnic groups. So they were doing it to their own people because, like I said, Europeans, they're also divisive. But one thing they understand once they land in this land is that we are all white and they all came together. So FBA and ADOS is doing the exact opposite thing that all people do when they realize they're in a race war. They start, they do everything besides strengthening their ranks. What they're doing is pretty much weaken their ranks. So anyway, I was looking for Mr. Hart. Okay, Philip. Okay, right here, Senator Philip Hart, a congressman. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna see who he is. Another white guy. Another white guy. See, so I could pretty much say that this is a FBA ADOS lie. That black Americans during the civil rights era fighting for their lives and their dignity was worried about people that's not even in their country. That's the picture they want to paint right now. And that makes no sense. Like again, I wouldn't put it past them, right? But past a black American to fight for other black people abroad, but it makes no sense for them to talk about immigration, for them to come here when they're going to receive the same suffering that the black people are already here enduring. It makes no sense. See what references they will give. Greenwood, blah, blah. Just check it out for yourself, right? Because it's pretty much a dead end at this point. Like I don't see anything, right? It's like trying to find a unicorn right now, and saying, well, oh, unicorns exist. Why you say unicorns exist? Well, a unicorn resembles a horse, and so there's some truth to that. So hey, a unicorn gotta exist because it resembles a horse. It's probably a unique kind of horse. No, that's not grounds for why a unicorn should exist. It's still fictional, right? Something that's based on fact, and that's what good hustlers and liars do. They take something that's grounded in fact and they twist it just slightly to favor them, and stupid people that don't know anything or don't know any better believes it, right? Same thing. Oh, okay. Immigration Act happened in 1965, right? Because we were fighting for civil rights. So we did it. Like, whoa, that sounds right, but when you analyze it, it doesn't sound right. So again, just to recap, ADOS is saying that they fought for black immigrants. Next time they say that, if you're in a particular space or opportunity when they say that, say how, say who, say when, right? Ask questions as to back up their statement. Because when I ask them that, they get butt kiss. Like, you get nothing. You get absolutely nothing. You get, well, Martin Luther King and what was happening to us, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, happening to you, right? I'm only going with their narrative because, like I said, you had Africans in America and you have Caribbean people in America, but they're so disrespectful to their ancestors and they're so anti-black, just pretty much copying the pathology of their current masters in America. They think that's how you gain power, is hating black people, right? So they're going to make a distinction between black people and say, well, okay, if I do the same thing, I'll just be as powerful as white people. And the white man's going to pat me on the head like a little good nigga and be like, okay, like a little good lapdog. So that's how they're thinking right now. So I'm only going based upon how they're thinking right now, right? But ask them who fought for black immigration, right? Because we can't find any. We can't find any at all. Again, these are the people. Hey, maybe they didn't give those black people credit. That could be a thing, right? But we can see right here, and even with black publications and all types of publications, there's no mentioning of immigration until until they got rid of Jim Crow, right? So after Martin Luther King and others made those sacrifices, right? They revamped civil rights across the board, locally and internationally. We've been through that. We saw that already, right? We saw proof of that, right? No mentioning of them. You have people here. Ain't nothing but white people here, like I did the last time, right? Ain't no white people here at all. There's no black people here at all whatsoever. There's nothing but white people here, right? Except for that guy. I don't know. But, there's no white people here no black people here at all. Just white people here. That's a part of this whole thing, right? So I can say this is officially, don't be mad, man. Like, this is how it is. Just show and prove, man. No, you got to show and prove. You don't have to screw up your face like that. Just show and prove. You missed the history and all that. You missed the we been here already. We've been here already. That's who you are. Show and prove. But you're full of shit. And not everybody who unfortunately has to hear your voice is fucking stupid and believe everything that you say. We ask questions, right? Same thing. Prove me wrong, right? So I ain't gonna beat a dead horse at this point. Black Americans during the civil rights movement, fighting for their own local civil rights, did not fight for immigration, period. Let alone immigration for black people and other people. You know what I'm saying? They didn't fight for immigration at all. If they're going to fight for immigration, yeah, they'll probably fight for immigration for black people, let alone immigration for all people. And what happened in the Immigration Act of 1965 were for all people. I read to you, they were even discriminating against certain European countries, right? Certain European countries they were discriminating against. So for damn sure, they're really gonna shit on the blacks and the Asians. So anyway, thank you very much for staying with me. Hey, look, if you guys got some information that I don't know about, put in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Again, as always, I would like to hear your thoughts on this. Feelings out of it. We're just doing history right now. Thank you. Peace and love.